Hello and welcome to a new crochet tutorial. Today I will be crocheting a baby blanket with lacy diamonds design. I want to say a huge thank you to my viewer Juanita from Fresno, California, who sent me this beautiful yarn along with lots and lots of other yarns. She sent me not one, not two, not three, but six boxes of yarn. I am super excited because the majority of these yarns that she sent me are totally new to me. I've never worked with these yarns before, so there will be lots of crochet projects on my channel with totally new looks and new textures, and I'm very excited about that. Dear Juanita, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your kindness. I crocheted this lacy baby blanket using Feels Like Butter yarn by Lion brand. This yarn is 100% polyester and it's super soft to touch. I used 4 skeins, so the total yardage was 872 yards or 400 grams. The finished measurements of my blanket are 34 by 34 inches and the hook size that I work with is H 5 millimeters. This is the same yarn but in different color, and that's what I'm going to use for the purpose of this tutorial. I start with 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I join them into a ring with a slip stitch. Next 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the ring I work 2 double crochets finished together, 1 and 2. And this beginning stitch counts as my first 3 double crochets cluster. Next 2 chains, 1, 2, and again into the ring I work 3 double crochets finished together. That's gonna be my next cluster. 2 and 3. Now again 2 chains, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets finished together. 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, and I continue crocheting 3 double crochets finished together, or these 3 double crochet clusters into the ring until I have the total of 8. Here I have 8 clusters worked into the ring. I make 2 chains and join with a slip stitch to the top of the first cluster. And over here I insert the hook through all 3 loops of these 3 double crochets. And this is my first round. Next I'm going to make a slip stitch into this next chain 2 space, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets finished together, 1, 2. I will start each round with 2 chains and 2 double crochets finished together, and these stitches will count as my first cluster or my first 3 double crochets finished together. Next 2 chains, and into the same chain space I work 3 double crochets finished together, 1, 2, and 3. Now I finish them together. This is gonna be the corner space of my square. Next I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 2 space I work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Now 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 2 space I will work my corner the same as this one. So first I work 3 double crochets finished together, 1, 2, 3, then 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the same space I work 3 double crochets finished together again, So this is the second corner of my square. Next, 2 chains, and into the next chain space I work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 2 chains, and I'm going to work the next corner exactly the same way as this one. First 3 double crochets finish together, then 2 chains, and into the same space again 3 double crochets finish together. And now I have the third corner of my square. 2 chains, and into the next chain 2 space I work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 2 chains, and the last corner 3 double crochets finished together, two chains, and 3 double crochets finished together into the same space. Here I have my last corner. Now 2 chains, into the next chain 2 space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, and now join with a slip stitch in top of the first cluster, and again I insert the hook through all the 3 loops, each loop of each double crochet. And here I have my second round, and it now begins to look like a square. I start round number 3 with slip stitch into the chain 2 space, then 2 chains and 2 double crochets finished together. This is my first cluster. Then 2 chains, and into the same space 3 double crochets finished together. And each of the following rounds will start in the same way, with 2 chains, 2 double crochets finished together, 2 chains and 3 double crochets finished together. Next, 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now I will work a double crochet into each one of these 3 double crochets. 1, 2. Oh, and note here that I'm inserting the hook directly into double crochet. It kind of looks like inserting the hook under 3 loops. Not only these 2 loops on the top, but directly over here. And that way my stitches are nicely aligned, one on top of the other. Now into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. 2 chains, and this is my corner, and each corner will be worked the same way. First 3 double crochets finished together, or 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chains, and 1 more cluster. 1, 2, 3 double crochets finished together. This is what it looks like, and now the pattern begins to repeat from here. I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Now into each one of these 3 double crochets I work a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. into the next chain 2 space, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, then 2 chains, and into the corner I work cluster, two chains, and another cluster. And that's how I continue crocheting all the way around. The pattern simply repeats from here. Here I crocheted round number 3, and at the end I join with a slip stitch to the first cluster. I start round 4 the way I did before, with a cluster, 2 chains and cluster. Then I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Now over here I have 7 double crochets, and I will make a double crochet into each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now make 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. 1, 2. And over here I now have 11 double crochets. Next 2 chains, and I work the corner the way I did before. I make a cluster or 3 double crochets finished together, then 2 chains and 1 more cluster. Now the pattern begins to repeat from here. 2 chains, 1, 2, into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Now a double crochet into each one of the next 7 double crochets. Next 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. 2 chains, and the corner. First a cluster, 2 chains, and 1 more cluster. And that's how I continue crocheting all the way along this side and this side. I joined the previous round and I'm starting next round, round number 5, the same way I did before. Now 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 2 space I will work 3 double crochets. Not 2 double crochets as I did over here in the 2 previous rounds, but 3. So 1, 2, 3. Next 2 chains, and I skip the next 2 double crochets, and I'm going to work a double crochet into each one of the next 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Next 2 chains. I skip the next 2 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now again 2 chains, 1, 2, and I work the corner the way I did before. a cluster, then 2 chains and 1 more cluster. And now this side I'm gonna work the same way as I did over here. First 2 chains, and then into the next chain 2 space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then 2 chains, 1, 2, skip 2 double crochets, and I work a double crochet into each one of the next 7 double crochets. Now 2 chains, 1, 2, skip 2 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and corner space the way I did before, a cluster, 2 chains, and a cluster. And the rest of this round goes the same. The pattern repeats from here. I start the next round, round number 6, the same way as I did before. And now from this point the pattern begins to repeat from here, from round number 3. 2 chains, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. And now into each one of the next 3 double crochets I work a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 2 space 2 double crochets. 1, 2. So over here I begin to get the next diamond just the way it was worked over here. Now I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip the next 2 double crochets, and into each one of the next 3 double crochets I work a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. 2 chains, skip the next 2 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. And now into each one of these 3 double crochets I work 1 double crochet. Into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and I finished this side of the square with 2 chains and corner the way I did before. And now the pattern begins to repeat from here. So on this side we work 2 chains, then 2 double crochets, into the next chain 2 space, then a double crochet into each one of the next 3 double crochets. Then 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. So here I begin to get next diamond, and 2 chains, skip 2 double crochets, and a double crochet into each one of the next 3 double crochets. 2 chains, 1, 2, skip these 2 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets, and here again a double crochet into each one of these 3 double crochets, into the next chain 2 space 2 double crochets, and then 2 chains and the corner, cluster, 2 chains and a cluster, cluster, 2 chains and another cluster. And that's how this round goes. I start round number 7 the same way as before. Now 2 chains, and in this row I have 2 diamonds. So over here I had 1 diamond, but now over here I will have 2. So into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then into each one of the next 7 double crochets I work a double crochet. So this is the same as I worked over here, making this first diamond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Now I'm going to make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip all of these 3 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets, 1, 2. And now I will be working my second diamond, so the pattern repeats from here. Into each one of the next 7 double crochets I work a double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space, 1, 2. So over here I will have 2 diamonds. Next 2 chains, and I make the corner space just the way I did before. And the other 3 sides of the square will be worked in the same way as this first side. So the pattern begins to repeat from here. In this round, round number 8, I make 2 chains, and then into the next chain 2 space I will work 3 double crochets, not 2 the way I did here and here, but 3 the way I did over here. So 1, 2, 3. Next 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip 2 double crochets, and I make a double crochet into each one of the next 7 double crochets. Now again 2 chains, I skip these 2 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 3 double crochets, And now on this side of the square, the pattern begins to repeat from here, just the way I made 3 double crochets over here. I now made 3 double crochets over here. Then I will make 2 chains and skip 2 double crochets. So I make 2 chains, skip 2 double crochets, and then make a double crochet into each one of the next 7 double crochets. Two chains, and into the next chain 2 space I work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, then 2 chains, and into the corner space I work a cluster, 2 chains, and another cluster. So this is how this side is worked, and the other 3 sides are gonna be worked the same way. And over here in round number 9, these 3 double crochets are gonna be the beginning of my next diamond, just the way these 3 double crochets were at the beginning of this diamond, and over here these 3 double crochets were at the beginning of this diamond. I start this round with 2 chains, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and into each one of the next 3 double crochets I work a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 2 space 2 double crochets again. So as you can see, this is going to be the beginning of the next diamond. Next 2 chains, I skip 2 double crochets, and over here I make a double crochet into each one of the next 3 double crochets. So this diamond over here is now closing. So 2 chains, skip 2 double crochets, and the pattern begins to repeat from here now. So into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and then just the way I worked over here, into each one of these 3 double crochets I work a double crochet. Into the next chain 2 space 2 double crochets. 1, 2. So I have a beginning of the next diamond. So here is the beginning of the first diamond, this is the beginning of the second diamond. Then 2 chains, skip 2 double crochets, and a double crochet into each one of the next 3 double crochets. Two chains, skip these 2 double crochets. Over here I make 2 double crochets, then a double crochet into each one of the next 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then into the next chain 2 space 2 double crochets. So here I have first diamond, the beginning of the first diamond, second one, and this is the third. And I end with 2 chains and a cluster into the corner space, then 2 chains, and into the same space 1 more cluster. So let's take a look at this side again. So we are making new diamonds here. So 1, 2, and 3. I start round number 10 with the corner clusters, then 2 chains, and into the next chain 2 space I make 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Now here I have 7 double crochets, and I make a double crochet into each one of them. So my diamond is getting bigger. And into the next chain 2 space I make 2 double crochets, and this diamond over here is now finished. So over here I make 2 chains, I skip these 3 double crochets, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 double crochets, and now the pattern begins to repeat from here. Into each one of these 7 double crochets I will work a double crochet just the same way as I did over here. And then over here into the chain 2 space 2 more double crochets. So here I have the first diamond, this is the second, and right here will be the third. So just the way I did over here, 2 chains, skip 3 double crochets, and 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space, then a double crochet into each one of these 7 double crochets. And then 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, 2 chains, and the corner, a cluster, 2 chains, and a cluster. So now this is what I have, and the other sides I work the same way. And here I finished this round, and from here all you need to do is to repeat the last 3 rounds. So the next round is gonna be round number 8, where you will be making 3 double crochets in the beginning of the round. Then you repeat this round, and then again back to this round, and this round. And that's how you're gonna continue crocheting until you have 28 rounds in total. And the easiest way to count your rounds is over here, counting these clusters: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right now I have 10 rounds, but for the blanket you need to continue crocheting until you have 28 rounds. And now I'm gonna show you how to make the border for this blanket. The last round, the 28th round, is going to be the same as round number 10. So you will end up with half diamonds like this one. For the border, into the next chain 2 space I make a slip stitch, then 1 chain, and into the same chain 2 space I work 3 single crochets. I skip the next cluster, and into the next chain 2 space I work 2 single crochets. Over here I have 11 double crochets, and into each one of them I work a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Into the next chain 2 space, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and the pattern repeats from here. Again, into each double crochet I will work a single crochet, and into the chain space I will work 2 single crochets all the way to the next corner. At the next corner over here I make 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space, I skip the cluster, and into the corner chain 2 space I work 3 single crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Now I continue crocheting on this side. I skip the cluster, and into the chain 2 space I work 2 single crochets, and now again I will work a single crochet into each double crochet, and into the chain 2 spaces I will work 2 single crochets. So the same way as on this side, and that's how I will make this round of the border. And I join this round with a slip stitch. The next round is also going to be a round of single crochets. I start with 1 chain and I make a single crochet into the same stitch as joining. Now the next stitch is my corner stitch, and into this stitch I will work 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and now I simply work a single crochet into each single crochet across to the next corner, and into the corner stitch I will make 3 single crochets. I joined this round, and now the last round is going to be a round of clusters. First I'm going to slip stitch into the next 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and this brings me exactly to the corner stitch. I start with 2 chains, and into the same corner stitch, corner single crochet, I work 2 double crochets finished together. Then 2 chains, and into the same corner single crochet I work 1 more cluster, so 3 double crochets finished together. Next 1 chain, I skip next 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and I will be working into the next one, and over here I work 3 double crochets finished together. 2 chains, and into the same single crochet 1 more cluster, so 3 double crochets finished together. 1 chain, and again skip 3 single crochets, and into the next single crochet I work a cluster, 2 chains and a cluster. And that's how I continue crocheting this round all the way around my blanket. And at the end of the round I join it with a slip stitch, and the blanket is finished.